Breaking news! The Joker, Bane, the Penguin, and Two-Face have all escaped from Arkham. Okay, so growing up, I watched and played any and every Batman content I could get my hands on. From the animated series to the live action movies, you name it. And no matter what project he was on, there was always one detail that stayed the same. Living in Gotham is awful. And not just for our crazy billionaire who dresses like a bat, but for the everyday citizens, the people who don't live in a mansion on the outskirts of town, the ones who actually, have to wake up, go to work, and survive the insanity that is living in Gotham. So today, I'll be going through the Nolan trilogy and seeing just how rough it is to be a Gothamite, rating each movie on a scale from I'd kill myself after a day to I could actually survive a lifetime here. I was going to do all the live action Batman movies, but there's just too many of them, and this video would be 30 minutes long. And could you imagine if I spent a week making a 30-minute long video only for it to get 100 views? Yeah, that would be rough. Anyways, starting off with Batman Begins. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm doing this video from the perspective of like a random Gothamite citizen who's just telling his story to the news. Gotham is in a full-blown depression, and while the rich people are going out and watching Broadway plays, the rest of us are starving and barely managing to get by. Things have gotten so bad that the other day, the city's most famous and respected couple got solo wiped by a crackhead. And just like that, Thomas and Martha Wayne, the only rich people who actually seem to care about this place, are gone. And the elites just hide behind their gates while the rest of us try not to get robbed on the way to work or jumped by a crazy person. A few years have gone by since I was last on, and somehow things are worse than they've ever been. The rich are richer, the drugs are everywhere, and the wealth gap is at an all-time high. Hey, that sounds kind of familiar. But it's not like everyone here is evil. We've still got a few good ones. People like Rachel Dawes, the DA, who actually believes in the law. She's going after Carmine Falcone, the head of the mob, who basically runs this place, and she's doing it the right way. She even got Joe Chill, yeah, the guy who killed the Waynes, to testify against him. For a second, it felt like things were finally turning around, but this is Gotham, and rats don't do too well. So of course, someone shot him before he could testify. And to make things worse, that same day, Bruce Wayne, the Prince of Gotham, just disappeared. And for the next 7 years, nothing really improved. Honestly, things got a little worse. Wayne Enterprise went public and started selling weapons. And every time one of Falcone's guys gets arrested, they somehow avoided prison with the insanity plea thanks to a corrupt psychiatrist. Then one day, Bruce Wayne was suddenly found alive and well, returning home like nothing had happened. And wouldn't you know it, around the same time, some guy dressed like a bat started running around and beating the hell out of people. And while all this has been going on, I heard from someone that Falcone put a hit out on Rachel Dawes and nearly got her killed. Could you imagine trying to clean up the city while someone wants you dead? And then also having to worry about Falcone's thugs constantly avoiding jail, only to get cozy in Arkham instead. Well, I don't know about cozy. Remember that corrupt psychiatrist I was talking about? My friend that works at Arkham said he's been running experiments on people, and not just the random thugs, but Falcone himself. And while all this has been going on, Wayne Enterprises, the so-called heart of the city, lost a literal bioweapon, and the owner of the company, who should probably be issuing a public apology, is busy swimming in restaurant decor. Meanwhile, the people actually trying to get things fixed are getting murdered. And the cops, the people who are supposed to protect us, they're too busy stealing from falafel carts. The other day, someone saw that bat guy set an apartment on fire and then fly away. And then a few nights later, it came out that Arkham had a full-blown drug operation running in the basement. And the head psychiatrist was, surprise, surprise, working with the mob and dumping chemicals into the city's water supply. And to make things worse, the bat guy showed up with like 1 million bats, and they destroyed property and shit all over the place. Oh fuck, can I curse on the news? Yeah, we'll just bleep it out later, man. You're good. But yeah, I honestly feel bad for the janitor that has to clean all that up. But that's not even the worst part, because not only did he then kidnap the DA of the city, who looks like she just got roofied, but then he drove away in a car that looked like a tank mixed with a Hellcat, destroying half the city and a bunch of people's cars in the process. He was dead ass driving on people's roofs, f***ing up their whole buildings, and taking out everyone's internet while he's at it. Could you imagine trying to fill out an insurance claim? Yeah, so what happened? Some guy dressed like a bird drove a tank on my roof and flattened my car. But the mayhem doesn't stop there, because that same night, every Arkham inmate escaped while some kind of gas got released on the city, and suddenly, everyone and their mothers started tripping balls, and not in a good way. People were seeing their worst nightmares, things like demons and monsters. It was like a panic attack times 10, where every second felt like accidentally liking your crush's Instagram post from 5 years ago. And the police, who were supposed to settle things down, were literally pulling guns on kids. it was chaos in the streets. And to make things worse, that Bat guy wasn't done for the night. He destroyed the last trace of the Wayne legacy in the city's train. And finally, to add the cherry on top of the shit that is living in Gotham, Bruce Wayne, who was nowhere near all of this chaos, drunkenly burned his house down. So for Batman Begins, I think I'd give it a month of living in Gotham before I kill myself. Now, before we get to the Dark Knight, it's begging time, so please, 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 please drop a like and subscribe, please. It's been about a year since everything went down, and things are actually starting to look up since Falcone's been in jail. Crime's down, there are fewer drugs in the street, and you can actually go outside at night without getting mugged. As long as nothing changes, living in Gotham doesn't seem so bad. Oh, sorry, let me take this. It might be important. What's that? There's a crazy guy dressed like a clown going around killing people and stealing from the banks. So, yeah, it's only been about a year since the whole gassing incident, and the city is back to being as bad as it's ever been. But I'll admit, there are some positives. The new DA, Harvey Dent, has really been a bright spot for the city. The other day, he almost arrested Maroney, and he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that meddling fall guy taking all the blame. He also managed to smuggle a gun into the court, but they're saying Harvey's aura jammed it. Dr. Crane was also tracked down by the Batman, which is what they're calling him now. He's kind of grown on me, but the people trying to copy him, not so much. But besides for that, it's rough out here. The other day, a man was found with a pencil in his brain. We as Gothamites need a distraction from all the craziness. I'm glad the ballet is in town. Oh wait, give me a sec, I just got a text. And never mind. Apparently Bruce Wayne took all the dancers on his yacht and the show's canceled. The last few days have been interesting. Two mob guys were found stabbed to death with a pool cue, and that wonderful Harvey Dent arrested like 500 criminals in one day. It was really something special. But that clown guy, who they're calling the Joker, still hasn't been caught. And now he's killing people on the news and threatening to kill more if the Batman doesn't reveal his identity. Okay, so it's been a few days since that happened, and the Joker's killed the police commissioner, a judge, and the head of major crimes unit, who sacrificed himself for the mayor. The poor guy had kids and a wife. Someone I know told me they could hear her screaming for hours, cursing the Batman. That guy really is selfish. All he has to do is take off his mask, and all this will stop. Holy shit, even the rich aren't safe anymore. The other night, someone threw Maroney off a building and shattered his legs. Then, the Joker crashed Bruce Wayne's fundraiser, and he threw some woman out of a window. He didn't stop there, though. After that, he killed two guys, just because one's name was Harvey and the other's was Dent. It's not all bad, though, because apparently, Batman is going to reveal himself, and the killing is finally going to stop. I'll let you guys know how things go tomorrow. Sorry, guys, I'm a little late with the update, but yesterday was insane. So, at the press conference, everyone's waiting for Batman to reveal himself. Instead, Harvey Dent, the guy who's supposed to protect us, starts telling everyone we should be grateful for Batman, even though, he's the reason there's a bunch of dead cops. But then, he says he is Batman and gets arrested on the spot. Honestly, we were relieved. Batman's identity was revealed, and there wouldn't be any more killings. But we all knew something was wrong when a fire truck caught on fire and blocked a major road, which, by the way, made traffic a nightmare. But apparently, the Joker set it up so he could ambush Harvey in the tunnels, which he did, killing cops, destroying roads, and causing mayhem in the process. He's not the only one at fault, though. Apparently, Harvey Dent lied, and the real Batman showed up and caused millions of dollars in damage. He was blowing up cars and breaking side mirrors just to get out of traffic. Then, once they were out of the tunnels, he flipped a semi-truck and ruined a whole street. And when he had a chance to take out the Joker, who was shooting at people, he just crashes his bike. Thank God Jim Gordon was still alive, because who knows what would have happened. I wonder how his wife took the news. Oh! But last night didn't end there. No, why would it? This is Gotham. After the Joker was detained, Batman basically tortured him, which is a crime against humanity. That's how we found out that Harvey Dent and Rachel Dawes kidnapped and rigged to blow. They didn't get there in time for Rachel, but Batman did reach Harvey and save him. Well, most of him. The worst part of last night, though, is that the Joker managed to blow up the police department and escape. So all that was for nothing. But I'll let you guys know what happens in the next few days. Okay, so these last few days have been insane. It all started when this guy said he knew Batman's real identity. And then the Joker announced that if this guy didn't die within an hour, he would blow up a hospital. And then, wouldn't you know it, he blew it up. Thankfully, it was evacuated. But things only get worse from there. The Joker kidnapped a reporter and a bunch of doctors. And after that, he broadcasted a message saying he was going to blow up a boat. Meanwhile, the Batman was going around killing police and shooting drivers. And he didn't stop there, because later that night, the Joker took the doctors he kidnapped from earlier and held them hostage in a building. and when Batman went to save them, he beat up a bunch of SWAT men in the process, nearly killing some of them when he threw them out of a window. Thankfully, no boat did explode, but someone I know told me it was close. Batman wasn't done for the night though, because after that, he kidnapped Harvey Dent and Jim Gordon's family, and when Jim showed up, he threatened to kill his son. Thankfully, Harvey was there and he saved him, but Batman pushed him off a ledge and snapped his neck. The police tried to chase him, but he got away and no one's seen him since. Now, the plot of The Dark Knight is absolutely insane, and so many batshit crazy things happen, but really, your average citizen isn't really affected by most of the stuff going on. Like, yeah, the boat in the hospital things were scary, but really, no one was affected. Honestly, the city got safer in this movie, with all the mob being locked up and killed. So, for The Dark Knight, I'm giving it 10 years before I kill myself. And finally, The Dark Knight Rises, the last movie in the trilogy. It's been exactly 8 years since the Batman killed Harvey Dent, and no one's seen him since. And honestly, good riddance. The city's actually been safer ever since he left. It's also kind of strange that Bruce Wayne hasn't been seen in public for the last 8 years, but I guess that's billionaires for you. Things have started to feel like they're shifting though. The other day, an orphan was found dead in the sewer, which is bad, even for Gotham standards. Then, a congressman went missing, and when they finally found him, there was this massive shootout between the SWAT and some masked men. They killed a couple officers and fled to the sewers. Jim Gordon, the police commissioner, went down there with a team to check it out, but none of them came back, and the only person who survived was Jim, who was barely alive when they found him and rambling about some huge operation being run down there by a masked man named Bane. Honestly, I think he's finally lost his marbles, but besides the increase in crime, it feels like no one can afford anything these days. Well, not no one, because the 1% are richer than they've ever been, and somehow greedier too. Bruce Wayne, the billionaire orphan, stopped funding an orphanage. Can you believe the audacity of some people? Hopefully, things start getting better soon. Okay, so shit has been kind of insane. I'm honestly getting flashbacks to the Joker days. It all started when Bruce Wayne showed up to this charity event for the first time in forever, and then soon after that, the Gotham Stock Exchange was attacked. Some masked man and his goons beat up a few security guards, shot some brokers, and then kidnapped a few of them to use as human shields. And you're not gonna believe who showed up. The freaking Batman. He started chasing after the guys and getting them one by one, but the police were too focused on catching him that the actual terrorists just escaped. Thankfully, this time around, Batman kept his destruction to a minimum, but he still managed to fly away in something that looked like a UFO. I don't know how this guy has all these gadgets though. He must be like super rich. But speaking of super rich, Bruce Wayne no longer is. The day after the stock exchange attack, he placed a bunch of bad trades and lost all his money. Someone actually saw his car getting repossessed. Shit was crazy. Someone should have called the repo man. But he's not the only rich guy facing consequences, because after that, another CEO was found with his neck snapped. After that, the whole board of Wayne Enterprises was held hostage by Bane. Honestly, respected Jim Gordon though. Everyone thought he was crazy, but he warned us. And when the police captain let him know that Bane kidnapped some of the Wayne board into the sewers, Gordon told him to get every available cop and go in there to smoke him out. At first, they told us it was a training exercise, but then the bombs went off. Yeah, you heard that right. While me and my buddies were watching the Gotham Rogues game, Bane, the sick son of a gun, blew half the city to hell, trapping every police officer underground and killing almost every football player on both teams. And to make things worse, he bombed the mayor. But he didn't stop there. Hell, he barely started, because the next things to go were the bridges. And when he was done exploding shit, he came on the intercom and let the city know that he had an atomic bomb and only one man could disarm it. Then, in front of thousands of children and families, he snapped the guy's neck, meaning that we would be at the mercy of Bane. He let us know that if anyone tried to leave Gotham, or if anyone tried to interfere with his plans, a random citizen would detonate the bomb. But besides for dropping actual bombs, he also dropped a bombshell. Bane exposed Jim Gordon and the whole Harvey Dent lie. Apparently, Batman never killed anyone. He just took the blame for Dent's murders to keep the peace and to make sure that all of the men Harvey put behind bars would remain there. So naturally, to fix that injustice, Bane freed every single inmate in Blackgate Prison, meaning that not only do we have to worry about a nuclear bomb, but we also have to watch out for psychos and murderers just walking the street, which is exactly what they did. Right after Bane freed them, they started going around rioting and creating mayhem. If you were rich or wealthy, you were getting dragged out of your house. Somehow, the only person not affected was Bruce Wayne, who was nowhere to be found. I can't imagine things getting worse, but I'll let you guys know how things go from here. Yeah, so it's been about 3 months since Bane took over the city, and all 3,000 officers are still trapped underground. And every rich person they found has been sentenced to walk out onto the ice, and not a single one has made it back. The only rich person who's escaped any consequences is Bruce Wayne, who hasn't been seen since Bane took over. And speaking of not being seen, this fine shit left me undelivered. I mean, Jim Gordon has been in hiding since cops are being hunted down. The other day, some army guy showed up, but someone snitched, and Bane's men found them and hung them from the Gotham Bridge to send a message. Morality has completely left this city. The other day, I saw some kid steal an apple and almost get beat up for it. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to keep you guys in the loop. Apparently, the bomb is going to go off this week, but if I'm still alive, I'll give you guys a final update. Okay, so the most important thing to note is that the bomb didn't go off. Well, kind of, because right after my last update, the Batman came back. He saved a cop from getting killed and freed all the trapped officers from the tunnels. Well, almost all of them, but let's focus on the positives. Because Batman wasn't done after that. He saved Jim Gordon and some of the Wayne board from falling through the ice. After that, all the cops got together and rushed Bane's crew, taking a lot of casualties in the process. It was looking like D-Day out there. But while all this was going on, apparently Jim Gordon placed a signal tracker on the bomb so it couldn't be detonated. And just in case it did, people started trying to flee the city. But when they tried to cross the bridge, the military blew it up, meaning that they basically trapped us here to die. Thankfully, though, someone said they saw Batman give Bane that belt to ass, and then take off for the bomb. And finally, he strapped it to his ship and flew off into the sunset, saving Gotham for the last time. And as much as we're grateful for him, I can't help but wonder why a man as smart and rich as he was didn't have some sort of autopilot. But, oh well. To show the city's gratitude, we put up a statue and made a holiday, and that's the end of the trilogy. Honestly, The Dark Knight Rises has to be by far the worst Gotham out of all three movies. There's mass vigilantes, terrorist attacks, massive casualties, and prisoners walking the streets. So I give it a week before I kill myself. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought and how long you'd last if you lived in Gotham. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.